Okay, let me see if I can't help explain the pronation on the serve, the big mystery of what that word means. And really what pronation is on the serve is really a technique of speeding up the racket right through the ball. And because if you didn't pronate, which means that as you come up and you turn your racket arm right there over to where right now, if you had a wristwatch on the top of your wrist, you could be looking at it. And if you didn't do that, what would happen is the racket would come through so slowly because you'd have to push it through. And so it's like throwing a ball or like hitting a serve, where when you allow the wrist right here to drop and then you snap it up at the ball, right now what's pointed at the ball is the very edge. And what Pete's going to do on this, the last second, he's going to snap the arm over, and he times it so when he snaps it, it's flat. The racket's really flat at contact, because if it was in this position where this edge kept coming up, it would come around the right side of the ball, around the right corner of the ball, and the ball would be hit obviously from right to left. So what he does is right prior to contact, he snaps the arm over, and what that does is it delivers the racket flat against the ball, but it is done in such a way that now there's so much more racket speed coming through, and then he just lets it finish where it snaps over. So really, the idea of pronation is to get more racket speed going through the ball, and yes, it's flat at contact, but it's just so momentary. It doesn't. It's not like at this point right here you lock the wrist and then push. You actually let the racket head. See, this is a great angle, because you can see how the top, or I should say actually the bottom of his racket, because if you watch that part of his racket, well, we've kind of lost it here, but this is the part of the racket, the lower edge of the racket, as it goes through the motion, it ends up being the edge, this of course being the lower edge right here. Okay, it's still the lower edge, and now where is it? Well, now it's this one. It's that edge right there. It's now the upper edge. It's this edge right here, and it's still, not flat at all to the ball. And then at the very last second, there's a wrist snap, and what happens is that accelerates the racket through the ball. And you continue over, and that hopefully is not a more confusing way of explaining why we pronate that arm, which is basically to try to get more racket speed, and more racket speed at contact equates to it simply equates to more racket speed, which equates to more pace on that serve. Let's go through this again. Well, hope this has helped.